Have you ever had a man look at you like he can't breathe, like every word you say pulls him closer without you even trying? That look doesn't come from what you're wearing. It doesn't even come from touch. It comes from the way you speak to him, the rhythm of your voice, the confidence in your tone, and the words that make his imagination go wild. See, most women underestimate how powerful their words can be. They focus on how they look in the mirror instead of how they sound when they speak to him. But here's the truth. A man's deepest desire isn't just triggered by what he sees, it's ignited by what he feels when you speak. You can make a man weak with a single sentence if you know what to say and how to say it, because the real seduction doesn't happen in his body first. It happens in his mind. You want to know what makes a man wet, not physically, but emotionally undone. It's when a woman knows how to make him imagine what she's feeling. It's when her words make him curious, when her tone makes him lean in, and when she creates that tension where he's craving more, but you haven't even touched him yet. Most women have no clue how to use this kind of power, but once you learn it, everything changes. You stop chasing and start attracting. You stop trying to prove your worth and start making him prove his. So today I'm going to show you 5 things to say that make a man lose his composure, and trust me, once you master these, he'll never forget the way you made him feel. Every man, no matter how confident he appears, secretly craves one thing: to feel powerful in the eyes of the woman he desires. Not dominant, not controlling, powerful. There's a difference. Power in this sense means feeling capable, masculine, desired, and seen for the strength he brings into your world. And when you, as a woman, know how to reflect that power back to him through your words, you unlock something primal in him that instantly makes him melt. Let's be honest, men are surrounded by pressure. They're told to be tough, to keep it together, to always have control. But the truth is, even the strongest men want moments where they feel admired, and not in a general, "you're amazing" kind of way. They want that deep, intimate acknowledgement, the kind that comes from a woman who truly notices them. That's where the magic phrase comes in. You have no idea how sexy you look when you take charge. You're not just flattering him, you're validating his masculine energy. You're telling him, "I see the man you are and it turns me on." That line hits a man's ego, confidence, and emotions all at once. It's not about begging for his attention. It's about mirroring his presence back to him in a way that makes him feel desired. Now, the real power lies not just in the words themselves, but how you say them. The tone should be soft, playful, slightly teasing. Say it like you're letting him in on a secret. You want it to sound effortless, not rehearsed. That's what keeps the tension alive. It tells him, "I'm confident enough to express what I feel, but mysterious enough to make you wonder what else I'm thinking." Here's why this works so deeply. Men are often starved for emotional validation. They get plenty of respect in the world, from colleagues, from friends, but very few people make them feel seen. When a woman steps into that space and gives him that reflection, it doesn't just stroke his ego, it creates emotional intimacy. He starts associating that warm, magnetic feeling of being admired with you. And the best part, you don't even have to use that exact phrase. You can shape it to fit your personality. Try, "I love when you talk like that," or "there's something about you when you take the lead that drives me crazy." The key is the same. You're acknowledging his energy, his leadership, his quiet strength. But, and this is important, don't overuse it, the charm of this line lies in its sparseness. When you use it at the right moment, after he's just fixed something, made a decision, or shown confidence, it hits 10 times harder. If you say it too often, it becomes flattery. If you say it rarely but sincerely, it becomes unforgettable. See, men aren't looking for women to bow down or boost their ego. What they crave is a woman who recognizes their essence, who can see through the surface and connect with the part of them that wants to protect, lead, and impress. That's the side that feels most alive when a woman says, "You have no idea how sexy you look when you take charge." You're not just feeding his ego, you're inviting his confidence. You're giving him space to step into his masculine role with pride, while you stay grounded in your feminine energy. That balance, that dance, is what creates electricity between you. So next time you're with him and he does something that makes your stomach flutter, pause. Look at him with that knowing smile, lean in slightly, and whisper, "You have no idea how sexy you look right now." Watch what happens next. His posture shifts. Then his eyes darken, and in that moment he's not just turned on, he's enchanted, because you didn't just tell him he's attractive, you made him feel like a man. And once a man feels that way with you, trust me, he'll crave that feeling again and again. There's something deeply magnetic about mystery. It's what keeps desire alive. And one of the most powerful ways to create that mystery is with 5 simple words. You have no idea. That phrase is the verbal equivalent of a slow, teasing smile. It doesn't tell him everything. It invites him to imagine what you might mean. It leaves a delicious silence hanging in the air, one that pulls his attention entirely toward you. See, when a man can picture what's going on in your mind, but doesn't fully know he's captivated, you've activated the most potent part of male desire, curiosity. Think about it. Most conversations women have with men are straightforward. I like you. You look good. That was fun. All nice, all clear, but none of them create the spark of intrigue. The difference between attraction and obsession often comes down to how much a man has to wonder. When you say, you have no idea what you do to me, you're not giving him an answer. You're handing him a mystery wrapped in warmth. You're saying just enough to make his mind run wild, but not enough for him to pin it down. His imagination will start working over time. What does she mean? What did I do? How does she feel right now? That curiosity builds tension, and tension is where attraction thrives. The beauty of this line is that it works on multiple levels. It's not just sensual, it's emotional. You can use it playfully when he's making you laugh, or softly when he's close to you. You can say it with a smile, or whisper it when the room is quiet. Every version lands differently, and that's what makes it so powerful. Let's take an example. Imagine he does something small, something confident, something kind. Maybe he says something that makes your heart skip, or he looks at you in that way that makes time slow down. Instead of spelling it out, you pause, look at him, and say in that calm, low tone, you have no idea what that just did to me. You've just pulled him into a mental loop. He's now fully focused on you. His thoughts replaying that moment, trying to figure out what exactly he did that made you react that way. You've given him a gift, a riddle of desire. Men love to earn reactions. They thrive on knowing they've made an impact. But when you make that impact slightly mysterious, when he knows he's affected you but doesn't know how deeply, it triggers something much stronger. He becomes invested. He wants to explore more, do more, understand more. And here's the key. Don't rush to fill the silence after you say it. Let it linger. Let that half smile hang there. The pause is part of the seduction, because when you leave space, he fills it with imagination, and what he imagines will always be more powerful than anything you could describe. Most women underestimate the impact of subtlety. They think seduction means being direct or obvious. But the truth is that the greatest turn on isn't what's shown, it's what's suggested. When you say, you have no idea, you're giving him a taste, not the full story. It's like a movie scene that fades to black at the perfect moment. It's what doesn't happen that makes it unforgettable. When you learn to play with suggestion, you stop chasing validation and start commanding attention. You become the kind of woman who doesn't just attract men, she haunts them. Because long after the moment passes, he's still thinking about what you meant, how you felt, and what it would take to make you say it again. So next time, instead of giving him the whole answer, give him a mystery. Look him in the eye, smile like you know something he doesn't, and simply say, you have no idea, and trust me, in that moment, he'll feel it. The intrigue, the pull, the heat, because it's not just about what you say, it's about what he can't stop imagining. Here's one truth that most women miss. Men don't fall for the woman who gives them instant validation. They fall for the woman who makes them earn it. The woman who makes them feel a little off balance. The woman who looks at them with that playful smirk that says, you're cute when you try that hard. See, men are wired to chase. It's not just about ego, it's about excitement. When everything comes too easily, they lose the thrill. But when a woman stands in her confidence, when she doesn't crumble just because he's handsome, charming, or confident, that's when she becomes mysterious. That's when she becomes a challenge in the best possible way. When you tell a man, you're cute when you try that hard, you're doing something powerful. You're teasing him, but you're also acknowledging him. You're saying, I see you putting in effort and I appreciate it, but don't think you've won me over just yet. It's that blend of warmth and wit that completely disarms him. Why does this line hit so deeply? Because it strikes the perfect balance between admiration and mystery. Most men are used to two types of reactions: women who overpraise them and women who act disinterested. But the woman who sits in the middle, playful, teasing, confident, that's the woman he can't stop thinking about. This isn't about playing games. It's about keeping emotional tension alive. When you're not easily impressed, you're telling him something about your standards. You're communicating. I've seen confidence before. I've seen charm before. What else do you bring to the table? That question, that silent challenge, ignites his desire to prove himself to you. Men fall hard for women who bring out their competitive instinct. It's not competition with other men, it's competition with themselves. When you tease him with that line, you're inviting him to step up, to show you more of who he really is. You're awakening his natural drive to earn your admiration, and that's one of the most intoxicating dynamics in attraction. The trick is in delivery. Don't say it coldly or sarcastically. Say it with warmth, playfulness, and that slightly raised eyebrow. Smile when you say it. It's flirtation disguised as confidence. You're not shutting him down. You're drawing him in. You're giving him permission to keep playing, but you're also letting him know that your attention is something he has to win. Imagine he's telling a story, trying to impress you with something he's done. You lean in slightly, give him that soft grin, and say, "You're really working for this, aren't you?" He'll laugh, maybe protest, but inside he's thrilled, because you've just created a spark, that push-pull dynamic that keeps attraction alive. When you're not easily impressed, you also communicate something incredibly attractive, emotional security. You're not looking for a man to validate you. You're letting him audition for your energy. That's the energy of a woman who knows her worth. She's not cold, but she's selective, and that's magnetic. Most women try to impress men by proving they're cool, fun, or different. But the women who truly stand out are the ones who don't rush to prove anything. They listen, observe, tease a little, and let him work for their interest. Because in the end, that's what keeps a man invested, not your approval, but your mystery. So next time he's showing off a little, don't just giggle and nod. Pause, tilt your head, and with that slow smile, say, "You're cute when you try that hard." It's playful, it's confident, and it flips the script completely. Instead of you chasing his attention, he's now chasing your reaction. Because when you stop being easily impressed, something incredible happens. Men stop taking you for granted and start working to impress you. And that right there is the moment you become unforgettable. There's something incredibly intimate about hearing your own name, especially when it's said by someone who knows exactly how to say it. Most women overlook this small, simple detail, but a man's name spoken in the right tone can do more to draw him in than any compliment ever could. Think about it when you say a man's name slowly, softly, or with a certain tone that lingers. You're not just speaking to him, you're speaking into him. You're cutting through the noise of everyday conversation and reminding him, "I see you. You're not just another guy, you're the one I'm focused on right now." And that level of personal attention hits him in a way that no generic flirtation can. Men are rarely on the receiving end of intimacy through words. They're used to hearing their names in neutral tones, at work, in public, in passing. But when a woman says his name like it's a secret, like it carries weight, it changes the entire energy of the moment. Suddenly, it's not just conversation anymore, it's connection. The beauty is in how you say it. Try saying it slowly, letting your voice drop just slightly at the end, or pause before you say it. Let the silence build. Then whisper it like you're savoring the sound. David, Chris, Jakey. When spoken this way, his name stops being a word and starts being a touch. And here's why it works so powerfully. Men crave to feel desired just as much as women do, but they rarely admit it. When you say his name like that, you're giving him a microdose of validation wrapped in sensual energy. You're telling him, "You affect me." You're reminding him that he's having an impact, that he's getting through to you. This isn't about manipulation. It's about presence. When you use his name deliberately, you're anchoring his attention in the moment. You're taking him out of his head and into you. He starts noticing your voice, your eyes, your energy. Everything about you becomes magnified. And if you really want to make it unforgettable, pair his name with a subtle pause or compliment. Something like, "Mark, you have no idea what you do to me." Or even, "Ethan, stop looking at me like that." It's teasing, playful, and full of quiet confidence. You're not giving him everything, but you're giving him enough to feel hooked. What makes this so powerful is that it doesn't require effort only awareness. Once you realize the emotional impact of his name, you can weave it naturally into conversation. It's the smallest adjustment with the biggest return, because when a man hears his name from your lips said like that, he doesn't just hear it, he feels it deeply. And long after the conversation ends, he'll find himself replaying the sound of it in his mind, wondering how just one word, his name, could make him feel that alive. There's one line that can completely melt a man, not just physically, but emotionally. It's not seductive in the obvious sense. It doesn't sound like a flirtatious whisper or a teasing challenge. In fact, it's soft, simple, and deeply human. It's the moment when you look at him, maybe after he's done something thoughtful, maybe after he's just been there for you, and you say, I feel safe with you. Now, why does that line hit harder than anything else? Because it touches the one thing every man secretly wants but rarely hears, that he makes a woman feel safe. Beneath the surface of his confidence, his humor, his charm, every man is searching for significance. He wants to feel like he's more than just attractive. He wants to feel trusted. When you say, I feel safe with you, you're not just complimenting him. You're acknowledging the most sacred part of his masculine identity, his ability to protect, to provide, to create a space where you can relax and be yourself. That moment tells him, your presence calms me, and that for a man is intoxicating. See, physical attraction is powerful, but emotional safety is what makes that attraction last. A man might be drawn to beauty, but he stays for the peace he feels when he's around you. When you express that you feel safe with him, it shifts something inside him. His energy softens, his ego quiets down. Suddenly, he's not trying to impress you. He's trying to care for you. It's the ultimate form of emotional seduction because it bridges lust and love. You're not just telling him he excites you, you're telling him he grounds you. And for a man, that's the kind of compliment that doesn't fade. But here's the nuance. You can't fake it. It only works when it's real. When you genuinely feel relaxed in his company, when you trust his energy, that's when it lands. Because he can sense authenticity. If you say it just to say it, it feels like flattery. But when it's sincere, it hits his heart before it hits his mind. You can say it in so many ways, depending on the moment. Maybe it's after a long conversation where he's been listening without judgment. You smile softly and say, I really feel safe with you. Or maybe it's after he pulls you close in a moment of silence and you whisper, I love how calm I feel when I'm with you. You're not giving him control, you're giving him trust. And there's a big difference. Men don't want submission. They want significance. They want to know that their presence matters, that their effort is felt. When a man feels like he's earned your trust, his protective instincts awaken. Suddenly, he wants to take care of you, not because he feels obligated, but because it fulfills something primal within him. It makes him feel useful, valued, and irreplaceable. That's when emotional connection deepens and intimacy becomes something much more than physical attraction. And here's the beautiful irony. The moment you tell him he makes you feel safe, you make him feel safe too. Because now he knows he doesn't have to perform or pretend. You've shown him that you see his heart, not just his strength. And in a world where men are constantly told to be strong and unshakable, that kind of emotional safety is rare and unforgettable. So the next time he's holding you, supporting you, or simply being there in the way that steadies your world, take a breath, look him in the eye and say those words, I feel safe with you. You'll see it instantly, the way his eyes soften, the way his shoulders relax, the way his breath deepens. Because in that one sentence, you've given him what every man secretly wants, not to be admired from afar, but to be trusted up close. And that more than anything else is what makes a man fall, not just into attraction, but into love. Here's the truth most people never tell you. The real art of turning a man on isn't in what you do, it's in what you say. Because words reach places your touch can't. The right phrase, said with confidence and emotion, can light up his imagination, pull him closer, and make him feel something he can't quite explain. When you whisper his power back to him, tease his imagination, make him work for your attention, say his name like a secret, or tell him he makes you feel safe, you're doing something most women never do. You're connecting to both sides of him, the man who craves desire and the man who craves meaning. And that's what makes you unforgettable. See, anyone can catch a man's attention for a night, but the woman who knows how to speak to his soul, she's the one he dreams about. She's the one he keeps coming back to, not because of her looks, but because of the way she makes him feel seen. So If you take one thing away from this, remember that seduction isn't about perfection, it's about presence. It's about being aware of the power your voice carries, the impact your tone can make, and the story your words tell. Start using these 5 lines with intention, not to manipulate, but to connect. Watch how he leans in, how he listens differently, how his whole energy shifts towards you. Because when a woman learns how to use her words like this, she doesn't just make a man melt, she makes him fall. If this resonated with you, don't just listen, apply it. Try one of these lines tonight and watch how quickly his energy changes. And if you want more secrets like this, make sure you subscribe because we're just getting started.